Welcome to the Fight Night Daily Podcast with me, Spencer Oliver, and it is fight week. Chris Billam-Smith defends his WBO Cruiserweight title against Richard Riakporhe, and we've got a stacked undercard as well. And just here, my man, Ben Whittaker is on the show. Ben, how are you, my man?
All good, you know, great mood. The weather's beautiful, arena's beautiful for me. I'm ready to go.
Listen, we're 7-0. Looking at 8-0, we get the African King. Now, it's weird how this fight come about because you don't normally get fighters gate crashing press conferences and getting their wish come true.
Exactly. That's what I said. They need to get some more security for this fight because I'm sure many people are going to do that to get their opportunity. But it's just one of those things. Fair play to him. He got his opportunity. He saw his opportunity. But sometimes what you ask for, it's a bit too much.
Listen, he comes with a good record, 12-0, 10 KOs. Not seen much of him. Have you seen a lot of him?
Yeah, the bits we've seen, I've studied, I've watched, and if I'm honest, it's nothing I've not seen before. Of course, this will be his World Cup final, so he's going to come with everything he's got, and I'm expecting that. But sometimes when you come with that eagerness, it works against you.
We're seeing you much more regular now. We're seeing you get in the ring, and we're seeing those improvements. Last time you got some good rounds under your belts against Leon Willings. He's a tough guy, that kid.
Great rounds, and he's been in camp with me this camp.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we've been sparring, and that's what I love about boxing. Your enemy's in the ring after you're a family. He's come down, we sparred each other, shared many rounds, and it's been valuable for the both of us.
Listen, you got a stacked card there. The top of the bill, obviously, Chris Billam-Smith coming into the Lions Den, really, against Richard Riakporhe. Great fight, that.
You know what? This is actually a fight where whoever loses you feel bad for, because I love both guys. Richard, he's had it the hard way, came up. And so has Chris. Lovely family, man. And you don't want to see a loser. If I'm honest, I wouldn't mind a draw. But at the end of the day, may the best man win.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's great to see Dan Aziz back on there as well. And you get Isaac Chamberlain, Jack Massey going at it for the European Cruiserweight title. Now, that's a great fight.
That's a very good fight. When they did that switch, that was a better fight than Sislak, in my opinion. I went back and watched Richard Riakporhe versus Massey. Very good fight, very good fight. I like Chamberlain, but it's a tough fight.
We also got young Francesca Hennessy looking to continue her career as well, and she's improving a lot. Listen, Ben, I mentioned a lot of names there. I mentioned a lot of good fights there as well. But you know what's coming next? You know what I'm going to say? Who steals the show?
You know who steals the show, big man. The man himself here, Ben Whittaker. The ring walk, the kit, the looks, the body, the physique. I ain't got that many fingers to keep saying it. I've got it all, so make sure you tune in. You don't want to miss this one.
Listen, you heard it there, right? Ben Whittaker said he steals the show. And also, what you heard, first time anyone's ever said it to me, they called me big man.
Hey, you got to give respect to your old. This is the big man in the building.
All right, wicked, mate. Listen, thanks so much, Ben. Yeah, wicked, mate. Brilliant, brilliant. Listen, so there you go. Heard from Ben Whittaker talking about stealing the show. We saw him last time against Leon Willings. And for me, I thought he put in a good performance. I thought it's all about development, learning your trade. He got those rounds under his belt, and it's going to be interesting to see how that goes against the African King. Now, Richard Riakporhe, as you've just seen, has just done a little workout. He's finished up there, but guess what? We've got another special guest for you guys. We've got Denzel Bentley, former British champion, in the house. Denzel, how are you, my man? You good?
Good, thanks. And yourself?
Yeah, I'm all good, mate. Listen, looking forward to the fight on Saturday night, or the show, should I say, Saturday night.
Yeah, cracking show, man. Some good fights. I'm looking forward to all of them.
Yeah, listen, so, I mean, let's talk about the top of the bill, first of all. Chris Billam-Smith, Richard Riakporhe, Selhurst Park. I mean, home advantage could be crucial on this one. These two have history. The first one, you know, Richard Riakporhe won on a split decision. How do you see this one going?
It's a good fight, man. Both fighters have improved bundles. They've improved a lot. Chris Billam's obviously gone on to become a world champion since then, and he's going to have that confidence that, you know, he can beat him now. I think he felt he won the first fight anyway, but he's going to have more confidence that he can beat him. And Richard has improved so much where, like, he's no longer just trying to overcrowd his work and get too close to smother his work. He lands up his shots and he knows the right hand's his money shot, and he knows how to line it up perfectly. So it's going to be an interesting fight, man. It's whoever gets, you know, the game plan right.
What's going on for you? Where are you featuring next? Thought you might have even seen you on this bill.
Yeah, I mean, I'm out again in August, and I'm happy to be out again. I'm happy I'm active, so I'm staying in the gym, and yeah, man, August it is. I ain't got a confirmed opponent or nothing yet, but I'm looking forward to it.
Wicked. Listen, who steals the show on Saturday?
Isaac Chamberlain versus Jack Massey. I think that steals the show. You got Dan Azizi to come back as well, but I'm going to go Isaac Chamberlain with a great performance.
Denzel, always a pleasure, mate. Wicked, man. Thanks so much, and best of luck, man. Looking forward to seeing you again soon. So yeah, I've just seen Angel Fernandez has just come over. So we're getting the stacked with their guests today. Angel Fernandez, trainer of Richard Riakporhe. Luckily, I've tipped Richard to win this one, so I'm all right. I'm at ease right now. Yeah, I'm really good, mate. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me again.
Yeah, no problem at all. Listen, look, we go back to 2019.
Yeah.
We remember the fight. We remember how tough that fight was for both guys. We relive it. Both guys now have gone on 17 fights combined, undefeated. Chris Billam-Smith picks up the WBO title along the way. Richard Riakporhe gets himself into that mandatory position. I believe we get a different fight this time.
Yeah, we're gonna get different time. You know, like both of them have improved. You know, and I think it's gonna come down to the night, the best man. You know, and the best man win.
I mean, what are you expecting from Billam-Smith that he may do differently from the first fight?
He's got a lot of experience. You know, he has been through hard times. You know, in the last 3-4 fights. You know, you overcome these challenges. You know, so we expect a very hard fight. You know, a very good, improved CBS, and we prepare for it. And the best man, you know, win on the night.
What did you make of CBS's performance against Masternak last time? Matthias Masternak last time. I mean, there were times there when he had to really dig deep and ask himself questions, but he showed that he's got that ability to turn it around and not lose heart and lose faith.
Yeah. He just like did what he needed to do. Call it luck, call it no luck. That's what champions do. You know, somehow they win the fight, and we have to be very careful with these kind of like situations and maybe opportunities that we could give to CBS.
So I talked about Selhurst Park, and there's going to be like 15, 20,000 people in there. Richard Riakporhe, obviously the hometown favourite, but can that work against him, having that pressure, that added pressure, or do champions feed off that?
It's no pressure because like we feel like we're home, you know. The pressure's on the champion to defend the belt. We just train like the challenger, you know, and we come in as the challenger, so the pressure always will be on the champion.
Training camp gone well?
Very good. Very, very good.
You know what? You say that with a smile on your face, so I know that it must have, Angel. Hey, listen, mate, I appreciate your time. Always appreciate your time, mate, and look forward to seeing you for the rest of the fight week.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Just quickly, before you go, give us a prediction. How does it go?
Richard Riakporhe by knockout.
Wow. By knockout?
Yeah.
I'm excited, mate. I'm excited. Wicked. Brilliant. Well done, man. Thank you so much. Well, you heard it there. Angel Fernandez says Richard Riakporhe by KO. Tells you that they've been working on something. You know, we were talking about this actually the other day, just saying about the improvements of fighters. Chris Billam-Smith's proved that he's got that toughness and he can turn things around when he's, you know, things are not quite going his way. But I think what we've learned from Richard Riakporhe is that he now believes in himself. He's got the confidence in his own ability. That may not have been there in the first fight in 2019. And I think that's what makes him a different fighter right now. So yeah, interesting to listen to Angel Fernandez right there. You see Richard Riakporhe just behind me. He's getting interviewed. And yeah, it's a good crowd in here actually. It's turned out really nice for their local guy, Richard Riakporhe, Chris Billam-Smith. Obviously, now, Chris Billam-Smith obviously not around right now. Don't know where actually he is. I say Richard Riakporhe's behind me. Do we want Richard Riakporhe now? Should we pull Richard into this one? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so I told you we had all the local lads in, ex-fighters. Around in my era, another Spencer Fearon. How are we doing, mate?
We're everywhere, even when we're standing still. What a fight. I am so looking forward to this fight, you know, right? Because before it was like the hype weren't coming, but now all of a sudden the hype started to come out. So yeah, I'm so looking forward to this, Benny.
Absolutely. Listen, Spencer, this is your area, your manor. You know, there's a buzz created around here right now. Richard Riakporhe gets his opportunity at at his home ground, Crystal Palace, Selhurst Park. I mean, that's huge for him, right?
It's a dream come true. And if you'd have told me that this was going to happen a few years ago, I'd never ever thought that was going to happen. I know Richard probably been a young man, Never thought that. You know what I mean? Chris Billam-Smith, I remember commentating with him and Ed Robertson when he was at Sky when he was in the ABA finals, you know what I mean? Against Jack Massey. So to see these guys going up and fight each other now, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Spence, tell us, you know, what it's like in this community. You know these areas, you know what it is for the community to have big time boxing back there, football stadiums and all of that. Like, what does it mean? Is there a real buzz around this area at the moment?
I think the buzz has started to come up like this week more than anything for the guys in the barber shops, the guys in the West Indian takeaways. You know what I mean? I was down in Blue Jays, everyone's talking about the fight. That's a great thing. So I think the people are going to come out and everyone's going to be looking to see something spectacular by both men, right? Because when you think about it, when fights are coming into the area, it's more to do with like, it's not even like rivalries like that. It's nothing to do with that. People want to see great fights. These two together will make a great fight. We saw the first fight many years ago now, but this time now, they both improved. I would say Chris Billam-Smith has improved that much more because he got a fantastic win over Lawrence Okoli. So we have to look out for this fight and say to ourselves, like, what exactly are we going to get? We're going to get something special. Even more so, talkSPORT going to be down there with Spencer Oliver and Duke McKenzie.
There you go.
What
there
more do
you
you
go.
want?
Local lad, listen. And what for the winner? Let's just take a little step aside here so we can see there in the ring Chris Billam-Smith just working out there. Spence, you talked about him winning that world title. You know what it's like when it elevates you to another level. And maybe he's going to need that against Richard Riakporhe coming into the Lion's Den effectively.
Well, I think with anybody who goes out and wins something as big as what Chris Billam-Smith did, right? Because let's be real, he was the underdog in that fight. He was the underdog and he came out to be successful. And he came out, it wasn't even close. Lawrence Okoli wasn't even at the races. You know what I mean? He beat up Lawrence Okoli so hard he stopped being a vegetarian. Because you know what? He's like, Lawrence starts to eat meat again, right? So Chris Billam-Smith is the real deal, right? Do not look at the first fight and think we're going to get the same Chris Billam-Smith, but do not look at that same fight of what they had and think we're going to get the same Richard Riakporhe. We're going to get an excellent fight. And I think this fight could be won in corners. Shane McGuigan is coming from lineage. His old man was the former WBA featherweight champion of the world, right? This guy, from his come out the womb, he's known boxing, right? So I think it's going to be about corners. I think it's going to be about the confidence and experience of the corners that's going to turn this fight. So if there's sticky patches, I haven't seen Angel Fernandez react to sticky patches before. There's no disrespect to him because he's actually a good trainer, right? But I've seen Billam-Smith being sticky patches and pull through them. And it could be won and lost on that. You know what I mean? But really deep down inside, I think that if Richard lands, he's gone. Because Richard is literally the night train. So we've got to see what's going on.
Listen, you're talking about winning and losing. What next for the winner and where does the loser go?
You know what? There's still big fights because Lawrence Okoli's still there at this new Bridgerate crown, yeah? So I think this fight's going to be so good that we're going to get a rematch.
Really?
I think it'll be so good.
Well, give us a prediction, Spence.
You know what?
No splinters.
No splinters. I'm going for Chris Billam-Smith on a split decision points win.
This guy don't often get it wrong, you know. The knowledge. Spencer Fear and Spence. Thanks so much, man. Yeah, always, mate. And we'll speak through the week. Thank you so much for your time. Well, as you've seen there, Chris Billam-Smith there, just working out in the background. See that right hand that he's throwing, going over the top, as he's seen something in Richard Riakporhe. Is that the shot that he's going for? Saturday night's going to be brilliant, man. Really looking forward to this. Well, we heard from Richard Riakporhe's trainer, Angel Fernandez, now joined by Shane McGuigan, trainer of Chris Billam-Smith. Shane, great fight, mate.
Yeah, it's a great fight. I feel like they both improved a lot since the last fight. Richard's got cute with his attacks. Chris has got a lot more experience. He's got a lot better all round. Exciting times. I think it's one of them ones. It's going to be very different to the first fight. There's a world title at stake as well, so excited. Yeah, listen, as you highlighted there, you know, both gone undefeated since that last fight. Both gone on to have brilliant careers. We get this rematch. Shane, I want to ask you a question. How has it ended up at Selwood Park? We've seen how the Vitality Stadium is. You know how Chris Billam-Smith packs that out, and the atmosphere down there is so electric. How comes now Selhurst Park? And why was you happy to do that? Well, I think that just shows a testament of what Chris Billam-Smith is all about. Do you know what I mean? He's not precious. He understands that he's a world champion and he has rights to to box wherever he wants. But he also relishes the opportunity of boxing in someone's home home stadium. We feel like the stadium fight gives Chris an advantage rather than going to a O2 arena. That's been done many, many times before. Chris has been at a stadium before. Vitality was relaying the pitch. Up until about 3 days before, we were still pushing for Vitality. But you know what? We're happy to go to Selhurst Park. We believe that Chris will have a good travelling support. We believe that, you know, Richard will have a decent fan base. And at the end of the day, like, these guys are boxers. They put so much time and effort into their training and preparation and building their careers up for years on end for moments like this, to be fighting in front of stadium crowd and outdoors. Memorable nights. And I think, you know, whether it's in Vitality or whether it's in Selhurst Park, it doesn't really matter. It's still going to be a fantastic memory for him in 30 years' time.
Yeah, do you know what? It says a lot about a character of a fighter, like you say there, you know what I mean? Just taking it at ease game, like Chris saying, yeah, well, I've done Vitality a couple of times. I want to go to different stadiums. I want to feel different stadiums. But that says a lot about the character of the fighter.
Definitely, you know, he's one of the guys. He's a fighter for the big occasion, and I really believe he's one that can switch it on, you know, when needs must. And you know, you see a bit of a lackluster performance against Massenet, a guy that's been beaten a handful of times. You know, he took it lightly in a small arena. He went from boxing in front of 15,000 down to 3,500. I just believe he relishes the bigger fights, the bigger moments, when he's up against it, when he's not the betting favourite. That's what Chris Billam-Smith's all about. Yeah, people were saying he would have been lucky to win a British title. He's been a British champion, been a Commonwealth champion, been a European champion. Now he's a world champion, defending his world title in his second domestic title fight. Yeah, you couldn't write that script when he started professional boxing, and you know, he likes the underdog role.
What are you expecting for Riakporhe on Saturday night? I mean, and what are you expecting from the crowd as well? I know Chris is bringing a lot of fans, right?
I mean, I believe that, you know, Chris will have equal amount of support there. You know, Richard's not a massive football fan. I don't think he's got a big presence within the club, whereas, you know, CBS has a great presence within Bournemouth. I believe his fans will travel. If it was the other way, you wouldn't get many Crystal Palace fans going out to Bournemouth, trust me. So, you know, this is, I think you'll be surprised on the support, the equality in the support. And it's just going to be one of them hard fights, do you know what I mean? It's going to be, Rich is going to try and slow the pace down early. He's going to try and set up his attacks and look for the perfect shot. He's got world-class power, but we've got a few tricks up our sleeves.
Brilliant. Listen, Shane, always a pleasure, mate. Much appreciated. He's giving us a little bit of insight there, and we'll catch up in the week, yeah? Cheers, mate. Well, there we heard from Shane McGuigan, and he's expecting a tough fight as well. Now, I can just see promoter Ben Shalom walking in, and I'm going to try and grab a word with him. If we can just grab Ben just for a couple of minutes, yeah, I'm going to get him. There you go, Ben Shalom, and he's kicked me off my good side as well. That's my good side, you know.
You do have a good side.
Listen, Ben, massive fight, Saturday night, Selhurst Park, Richard Riakporhe, Chris Billam-Smith. You got to respect Chris Billam-Smith to go to Selhurst Park, you know, with the crowd that he's got, the backing that he's got down there in Bournemouth. That shows a lot of character about a fighter.
Huge character, but when we signed him 6 weeks later, he was fighting Isaac Chamberlain. That's the measure of this guy. He'll take whatever opportunity comes up. He'll take whatever fight comes up. You know, 12 months ago, the hardest world title was Lawrence Okoli. He done that, obviously got through Massenet, a little bit lucky, but now he takes on the only fighter to ever beat him in his backyard, and yeah, he deserves a lot of credit. Of course.
Right, come on then, mate. Set it up for us, right? Because we've been talking to the fighters. We've caught up with Angel Fernandez, Shane McGuigan.
Are we live?
No, we're not live.
Oh, right.
Yeah, we caught up with Shane McGuigan. Yeah, so Ben Whittaker as well. I mean, set up the week for us. Not the week for us. Set up the night for us here, mate. How it's going to go on Saturday night. What we're expecting.
It's a huge celebration of British boxing, and that's why we wanted to do here. That's why Steve Barish and Selhurst Park and Crystal Palace, it's their 100th year anniversary. Obviously, they're flying at the moment with the 4 players in the Euros. And we wanted to create an experience. Doors will open at 4:30, the fan zone opens, the entertainment's going to be crazy. You've got the 4 best cruiserweights, in my opinion, in the country on the same card, all in 50-50 fights, the European title and the world title. Mr. Whittaker, the greatest showman of them all, has got something very, very special planned for his ring walk and a test for him with a guy that's going to come straight out the box at him. And so it's going to be an unbelievable night. I have to thank, as I say, the club. I think the Bournemouth fans have been fantastic. There's a lot of coaches coming up from Bournemouth making that trip to South London. I think it's going to be 50-50 in there between Palace fans and Bournemouth fans. But it's just a great night. If anyone is in London on Saturday, this is the place to be. I think this is what you work for as a promoter, to do a stadium fight. Two guys we worked for a long time, having it off in a 50-50 domestic world title rematch. But yeah, atmosphere will be incredible.
Listen, I just want to touch on that Cruiserweight European title that you just mentioned there. Jack Massey versus Isaac Chamberlain. For people that may not have seen them before, it's got a barnstormer written all over it.
It has, and I have to admit, you know, the Sislak fight was exciting, but this is, for British fans, this is the one, because you've got Jack Massey, who actually, his performance against Joseph Parker has aged incredibly. But he's a phenomenally tough fighter that will never give him an inch, has a chin like I've never seen. And then you look in the other corner and you could say the same thing about Isaac Chamberlain. Look at how much the British title meant for him. He's now going to fight for the European. It's a complete 50-50, similar to the main event. You can make arguments for both. Two guys putting everything on the line, massive fight for their careers as well. And yeah, I think that one, it's probably the surprise fight of the night. That's the fight that I think is really going to take off, because both of them only know one way, and they're both going to meet in the centre of the ring and they're going to slug it out. And yeah, I think for the full 12 rounds.
Yeah, totally agree with you, mate. Listen, Ben, thanks so much for giving us a little bit there. And look, thanks so much to Ben Shalom, the promoter of the show on Saturday night. That's it here in Box Park, Croydon. It's been a fantastic day here at the Open Workouts. Looking forward to tomorrow's press conference. But for now, from me, Spencer Oliver, that's it for Fight Night Daily.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.